So today we are joining to share the news that there has been a very big outage across the world. I would say, essentially, Microsoft services, especially around their cloud, and essentially ClowdStrike, that's another cloud provider, a vendor, due to some of the issues in their configuration, it has caused outages across like several airlines have canceled their flights. Uh, some people are unable to use their services. So it has been like a catastrophic outage actually, which has impacted several customers across the world. And this incident is not one of the first incidents. We have had seen incidents across AWS, across Azure, across GCP, all across these major cloud vendors. So this kind of brings into mind, you know, these are the very companies that talk about generative AI, that it is going to automate everything, it will remove human beings and things like that. First of all, shouldn't they be automating their testing and ensure that their software systems run reliably across platforms, not in the sense that they time and again keep having outages. And think about it, right? This was not like a cloud outage. This was an outage due to possibly, I think, poor testing practices that they have had. So I want to go a little bit deeper into this trend of not having any QA teams, and the SUIs or the developers are expected to do their own testing themselves and not worry about testing at all. And this trend has been picking up steam since the past 6 7 years, I would say, or maybe a decade, you can tell, wherein people are like cutting down on the QA teams and they are ramping up on SUI teams and assuming that QA can be done by the customers. And mind you, this practice has been basically pushed by none other than Amazon, being an e-commerce company. And the reason for that is that for Amazon, it's an e-commerce company, so they don't care actually if their software is faulty, or people are unable to like search for products on their website and buy them. Well, it does matter to them because they will lose customers and they lose sales that are going to happen. But it's like a free service to consumers, and sometimes it will be available, sometimes it is not available, so it doesn't have a catastrophic problem for customers, right? Similarly, on that line, if Facebook is unavailable or YouTube is unavailable, or even Google is unavailable, well, you cannot do search, or you cannot create videos, or you cannot do social media. But all of these are free services, right? So here, if you don't stress too much on the QA teams, etc., it is still understandable that these are fair use basis products, and none of them are paid products. So sometimes they may not have reliability or availability, and that's understandable. But the problem is, right now, even other companies that are non-internet companies, even the companies that are selling SaaS software to both enterprises and consumer, let's take for example like Oracle or Microsoft or even IBM, or even AWS or GCP, because they sell not like free services, they are selling like paid software. So you can't adopt the practices of internet companies that are B2C free services and then apply it to productivity software, or enterprise businesses, or even consumer businesses that are paid SaaS software. I think what has happened because of the success of these internet companies all across the world, be it like Google or Meta or Amazon, even other companies have started blindly following them, including the policy where they don't have to have their own QA teams, and they are basically firing a lot of QA people and just expecting that the developers will do all the testing. I mean, I can relate my experience having worked for both, enterprise companies as well as internet companies, right? I've had, worked with companies such as Oracle and Amazon, Microsoft, etc., and as well as like search companies such as Yahoo, things like that. So back in the day, almost like when I was at Oracle, uh, our focus was on waterfall model. We used to develop software wherein you started with the requirement gathering, development process, and then you went on to testing, which was like unit testing, integration testing. Then you did performance testing, you ran a regression test suite and things along those lines. So it seemed pretty cumbersome model because you had so many steps in the SDLC, and you had to continue basically go for several weeks to like complete the whole SDLC process. So basically, we had come out with a new APM process at that time. I remember wherein we said that we have to shift left towards developers and have developers do most of the testing, and QA role should be transitioned into more like a customer, person. So at that point of time, I remember that we shifted like a lot of automation testing etc on the developers, and our aim was whenever the developers will come with like they have to do self review, then there has to be a peer review, and then there has to be a team review of their code that they write. They have to mandatorily have automated unit tests. They also need to have integration tests which were built in conjunction with the QA team. Then finally, they had to build like regression test suite, which was mostly authored by the QA team, and any new tests that were coming in from a feature functionality point of view, the developers would add those into the regression test suite as well. Then, in addition to that, we used to have end-to-end testing, corner case testing, stress testing, smoke testing, performance testing, benchmark testing. All of this used to be done before the product was basically given to the end customers, which were generally the enterprises. That was the level of quality that we used to maintain. But going fast forward to the age of internet, I saw wherein very bare minimum testing was done, and the focus was fail fast and move fast and deploy the product outside. Well, for a company like Amazon or like even Google or Yahoo, who runs pure play free internet services, that may be a okay strategy. Like I don't agree with this fully, but that's still understandable because customers are not like buying this product. It's like a free service, so they can get impacted sometime because they are not paying for it. And other than that, customers may lose their time and etc because they're using a free service, but it's not a contract by these companies that they will be always available. But if let's say Oracle or Microsoft that sells, let's say, Office 365, or Intuit that sells the taxation software, and if it goes down, then it's a big problem because people have actually paid for these services, and the idea is that these productivity software etc will continue to work throughout the duration that they are available. So my advice is the companies that are actually in productivity software, or they are into the SaaS software, especially if they are making paid products, then they should be very categorical about their QA and testing. And with all the hype around generative AI, while it is good, I think they need to do their own dog fooding. So build AI systems and machine learning systems that can predict such kind of outages or such kind of misses where certain section of the code have been missed or certain configuration changes that have been mixed. Then the machine learning will be active because every can fix a bug once incident happens. The beauty is to prevent that incident to happen in the first place. That's where predictive maintenance and preventative maintenance would basically come into the picture. So maybe today's session was more about this catastrophic event that was due to like both CrowdStrike and Microsoft, and many of their services not working and impacting basically several large businesses, whether be it airlines or hospitals or even banks and things along those lines. And I'm sure once the calculations would be done, the loss would come in a few $100 million. I'll not be surprised if it basically touches $1 billion too, given how much of a catastrophic this incident was. But case in point is a fail fast approach. Killing all your QA teams is not the right fit for everyone, and especially companies that are in enterprise domain or are selling paid software, they should refrain from doing this. And even a suggestion for companies that are in internet domain that offer free services, you still ruin the customer experience when there is unavailability. So it's important that you focus on a right policy. You can still have the developers actually run the uh, you know essentially the QA test and reviews and things like that, but have the QA act like as your customer, so that they can basically do all the scenario testings and all the user acceptance testing before it basically lands in the hands of the customer. So I think the role of QA will change into more like customer advocate, I think, and more towards like automation engineer who will automate these tests and things along those lines. But the ability for a QA to be able to think through end-to-end scenarios and use cases is going to be very, very crucial and important as we look forward. And the AI wave that is going on, this could have been a great example where if AI could have caught that there is a possible chances of an incident or an outage, that's where eating your own dog food will really work. So that's all for me today. Hope you are enjoying your time, and we'll meet again in another podcast. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Do comment and let me know if you need another topic. We'll be happy to take care of that. I hope you are doing fine and meet you soon. Thanks.